For 40 years, Joe Burke filmed the beauty of North America with his 16mm camera. More was shot in Colorado than elsewhere. We start with Lake Granby, formed by the Colorado River, and at 11 square miles, the third largest lake in the state in Arapahoe National Forest, 1,130 square miles in the north-central part of the state. You'll also find the 6.2-mile-long Muffet Railroad Tunnel under the Continental Divide that opened in 1928 and averages 15 trains per day. Aspen, named for the abundance of aspen trees, started as a mining camp in the 1880s during the Colorado silver boom, which collapsed in 1893. Over the next 50 years, the population declined to less than 1,000. The town's fortunes began to recover in the mid-20th century with the development of Aspen Mountain into a ski resort. Its 2020 population now stands at 7,004. Big Thompson Canyon starts west of Loveland and runs for 25 miles to Estes Park. The canyon was carved out by the Big Thompson River, a 78-mile tributary of the South Platte River. U.S. Highway 34 follows the river through the canyon with its granite walls that tower thousands of feet. Also seen through the canyon are green mountainsides and huge old cottonwoods. On July 31st, 1976, during the celebration of Colorado's centennial, the Big Thompson Canyon was the site of a devastating flash flood that swept down the steep and narrow canyon, claiming the lives of 143 people, 5 of whom were never found, making it the deadliest disaster in Colorado's history. Now, this 2-lane paved road is built high above the river so it can withstand the rising waters. The Black Canyon of the Gunnison National Monument, as it was named in Joe's day, became a national park on October 21, 1999. Located in western Colorado, northeast of Montrose, it surrounds part of a deep, steep-walled gorge carved through the Precambrian rock by the Gunnison River. Roads and trails along the north and south rims have views of the Black Canyon's dramatic drops and the striated painted wall cliff. The winding east portal road descends to the river. Wildlife includes mule deer, elk, and golden eagles. Berthoud Pass is in the Front Range of the Rocky Mountains in central Colorado, west of Denver. It's named for Edward L. Berthoud, the chief surveyor of the Colorado Central Railroad during the 1870s. Accompanied by Jim Bridger, Berthoud discovered the pass in July of 1861 while surveying a possible route for the railroad. US 40 is the road that now crosses it, and it is one of the most notoriously difficult passes in Colorado for motorists based on its height as well as the steep grades on both sides, 6.3%, and the large number of switchbacks on the southern side of the pass. A post office called Empire City was established in 1861, and the name was changed to Empire in 1886. The town is a former mining settlement that flourished during the Colorado silver boom in the late 19th century. Ayers Canyon is a short gorge on the upper Colorado River. It's 8 miles long and located along US 40 between Hot Sulphur Springs and Kremling. Colorado National Monument is a 32 square mile area southwest of Grand Junction in the far west part of the state. It was first explored by John Otto in the early 20th century, and he began building trails on the plateau and into the canyons. The area was established as Colorado National Monument on May 24, 1911, and Otto was hired as the first park ranger. Sheer-walled canyons cut deep into sandstone and rock formations. This is an area of desert land high on the Colorado Plateau, with pinyon and juniper forests on the plateau. Colorado Springs is home to Pikes Peak, the U.S. Air Force Academy, and a multitude of other scenic attractions. The Academy's most prominent feature is its chapel with its upward stretched triangular shape. The Garden of the Gods is a 1,341-acre designated National Natural Landmark in Colorado Springs. The outstanding geologic features of the park, including Steamboat Rock, the Three Graces, and Balanced Rock, are the ancient sedimentary beds of pink, red, and white conglomerates in limestone that have been uplifted. Pikes Peak is named in honor of Zebulon Pike, even though he was unable to reach the summit. In 1806, he initially named it Highest Peak. At 14,107 feet, it is the highest summit of the southern front range of the Rocky Mountains in North America, and it's located 12 miles west of downtown Colorado Springs. The 19-mile Pikes Peak Highway starts a few miles up Ute Pass at Cascade. Since Joe's time, it has been paved all the way by the city of Colorado Springs since 2011, and it became a toll road at $16 per person in summer and $10 per person in the winter. There's also the Manitou and Pikes Peak Railroad, the world's highest cog railroad based in Manitou Springs. Construction began in 1889, and the first train reached the summit on June 30th, 1891. Denver and the plains extending eastward from the Front Range of the Rockies can be seen 12 miles to the east from the top of 7,377-foot-high Lookout Mountain, which is famous for its gravesite of William Frederick Buffalo Bill Cody. Fremont Pass, named for explorer John C. Fremont, who discovered it in the 1840s in central Colorado, is traversed by State Highway 91, and it straddles the Continental Divide at 11,318 feet. At 12,095 feet, Independence Pass straddles the Continental Divide in the Sawatch Range of the Rockies, midway between Aspen and Twin Lakes. Closed in winter due to heavy snowfall at its elevation, State Highway 82 traverses it. As part of the Continental Divide, it was the limit of European settlement in the region at the time, with land to the west reserved for the Ute people. Prospectors who defied Governor Frederick Walker Pitkin's order crossed the pass on July 4, 1879, giving it its current name and setting up a similarly named village, now a ghost town, to its west. Loveland Pass sits at 11,990 feet on the Continental Divide in the Front Range of the Rockies west of Denver along US 6. The twisty road is considered to be especially treacherous during the winter months. A steep, steady 6.7% grade, along with numerous hairpin turns on either side, make it difficult to snowplow the road regularly. The pass is named for William A.H. Loveland, the president of the Colorado Central Railroad and a resident of Golden during the late 19th century. Loveland is the highest mountain pass in Colorado that regularly stays open during a snowy winter season. When the Eisenhower Tunnel opened in March 1973, it allowed motorists on Interstate 70 to avoid crossing the pass directly. Trucks that cannot pass through the tunnel, that is, those carrying hazardous materials and those over 13 feet 11 inches in height, must still take US 6 across Loveland Pass, 800 vertical feet above the tunnel. Loveland Ski Area is located northwest of Loveland Pass at the eastern portal of the Eisenhower Tunnel near the town of Georgetown. Due to its lack of on-site lodging, Loveland often has shorter lift lines and less expensive lift tickets, particularly midweek. Mesa Verde National Park was established by Congress and President Theodore Roosevelt in 1906 and occupies 82 square miles near the Four Corners in southwest Colorado. Mesa Verde, which is Spanish for Green Table Mountain, is best known for structures such as Cliff Palace, one of the largest cliff dwellings in North America. Starting around 7500 BC, Mesa Verde was seasonally inhabited by a group of nomadic Paleo-Indians known as the Foothills Mountain Complex. By 1000 BC, the basket maker culture emerged from the local archaic population, and by 750 AD, the ancestral Pueblans had developed from the basket maker culture. The Pueblo people built the Mesas Pueblos sometime after 650, and by the end of the 12th century, they began to construct the massive cliff dwellings for which the park is best known. By 1285, following a period driven by a series of severe and prolonged drought, they migrated south to locations in Arizona and New Mexico. At 14,438 feet, Mount Albert is the highest peak in Colorado, as well as the Rocky Mountains. It's located in San Isabel National Forest, 12 miles southwest of Leadville. Rapid Ears Pass at 9,426 feet is where US 40 crosses the Continental Divide in north-central Colorado. Rocky Mountain National Park is 55 miles northwest of Denver. It was created by an act signed by President Woodrow Wilson on January 26, 1915. The Civilian Conservation Corps built the main automobile route, Trail Ridge Road, in the 1930s, the highest paved through road at 12,183 feet in the country. Poudre Lake is an alpine lake and a main source of Poudre River. It's just a few feet east of the Continental Divide. US Route 34 passes the lake and crosses the Continental Divide at Milner Pass. It's a dead lake, as fish cannot survive in it because it freezes completely during the winter months. It is in Rocky Mountain National Park where we get a glimpse of what camping was like in the 1940s. Heavy, bulky canvas tents and food preparation over campfires. Royal Gorge is a 6-mile-long canyon on the Arkansas River west of Canyon City. Also known as the Grand Canyon of the Arkansas, it has a maximum depth of 1,250 feet. Measuring 50 feet wide at its base, it reaches up to 300 feet wide at its top. The Royal Gorge Funicular, or inclined railway, was built in 1931, but was completely destroyed by a fire in June of 2013, as was the overhead gondola. In 1929, Canyon City authorized the building of the Royal Gorge Bridge 955 feet above the river. From 1929 to 2001, it was the highest bridge in the world. The San Juan Mountains are located in southwestern Colorado and northwestern New Mexico. The Colorado portion is known for its gold and silver mines. San Juan National Forest covers 2,935 square miles in western Colorado. Treasure Falls are in the forest off US 160, 15 miles northeast of Pagosa Springs, and they're named after a local legend about a treasure of gold buried in the mountain that the falls plunge from. Silverton is the county seat, the most populous community, and the only incorporated municipality in San Juan County. The first mining claims were made in mountains above Silverton in 1860, and the town boomed from silver mining until the Panic of 1893 led to a collapse of the silver market, but it boomed again from gold mining until the recession caused by the Panic of 1907. Silverton sits in a flat area of the Animas River Valley and is surrounded by the steep peaks up the San Juan Mountains, most of which are 13,000 feet and above. Silverton is the northern terminus of the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad, originally built to haul ore down to Durango. Slumgullion Pass at 11,530 feet lies along State Highway 149 east of Lake City. Slumgullion Pass is named for the nearby Slumgullion earth flow, a gigantic landslide whose yellowish soil reminded early settlers and miners of Slumgullion stew. The Slumgullion slide began about 700 years ago when weak volcanic tuff slumped several miles down the steep mountainside. Approximately 300 years ago, a secondary flow started from the top of the mountain and is still active, moving as much as 20 feet per year. The first flow was so large and cataclysmic that it blocked the lake fork of the Gunnison River and created Lake San Cristobal, Colorado's second largest natural lake.